over the world. Welcome this beautiful morning to Today in the Dailies on 24 News Radio and Television. I am Ivan Karina Wari.
And I am Bukola Comfort Dada. Thank you for joining us this morning.
We have the following newspapers with us. I have the Leadership newspaper here.
I have the Nigerian Tribune.
And I have the Punch newspaper.
I have the Vanguard.
And these will be the newspapers we have for review this morning. From the Leadership newspaper, it says, employers fail to enroll 73.23 million naira 23 million workers for contributory pension scheme. Here says Senate okays troop deployment to Benin as ECOWAS says community in state of emergency. I joined All Progressive Congress to protect Rivers people's interests, Fubara. Here says Osun Governor Adeleke defects to Accord Party. It says, police officer to die by hanging for killing just undergraduate. Here says, only 6 million out of 30 million primary pupils advance to secondary school allow, sir. That'll be the news headlines from the Leadership. So if any of these news interests you, you can pick up the Leadership newspaper for more details and information.
And from the Nigerian Tribune, Fubara joins APC. PDP loses House in Southwest and Southeast. Also from the Nigerian Tribune, Nigerian, Saudi Arabia signed 5-year defense cooperation agreement. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, Tinubu urges youth to dream big, sustain creativities and innovation. Kogi government says 21 children rescues from suspected banditry training.
And from the Punch newspaper, here says tension rise over alleged $42 billion oil revenue shortfall. It says OPE triumph at Nigeria's Technology Awards. It says PDP ranges as Fubara joins APC, Adeleke shifts to Accord. Rep summon ministers over budget underperformance. Probe EFCC detain ex-AGF Malami. ECOWAS fears coup surge, Burkina Faso holds Nigerian soldiers. You can pick up the Punch newspaper for more details.
And from the Vanguard newspaper, Nigeria shall help state differ over the 10 aircraft soldiers. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, Adeleke moves to Accord, Fubara joins APC. Also from the Vanguard newspaper, kidnapping children lesser evil than killing soldiers. This is coming from Gumi. Insecurity, box stops on your desk. Onai Khan, Sheikh Lemon, Khan, others tell Tinubu. For more details of this news, you can pick up the Vanguard newspaper. And from the Daily Trust newspaper here, we have Benin. Presses plague over troop deployments. Also from the Daily Trust, we have court sentence police to death for killing students. Protest in Adamawa community over killing of women. You can pick up the Daily Trust for more details on any of this news that interests you.
Thank you. Now the news in details. From the Leadership newspaper, here says, employers fail to enroll 73.23 million workers for contributory pension scheme. No fewer than 73.23 million workers in Nigeria public and private sectors are being disenfranchised by their employers for having a good life in retirement, Leadership can exclusively reveal. Latest data released by the pension industry regulator, the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, and assessed by Leadership, revealed that only 10.92 million workers from the public and private sectors have so far joined the new pension scheme known as the Contributory Pension Scheme (CPS) out of 84.15 million workers across the country. Earlier, the 2024 Nigerian Labour Force Survey, released by the National Bureau of Statistics, showed that as at late 2023, Nigeria had approximately 84.15 million employed persons, a figure that may have increased over the last 2 years by the time a new figure is released next year. Employers failed to enroll 73.23 million workers for contributory pension scheme. We can pick up the leadership newspaper for more details.
From the Nigerian Tribune, Fubara joins APC, PDP loses out in South-South and South-East. Rivers State Governor Similayi Fubara has left the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and joined the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). Fubara announced the move on Tuesday during a stakeholder meeting at the government house in Port Harcourt. Speaking at the meeting, the governor said, "We can't support President Tinubu if we don't fully identify with him, not just the backyard support." Fubara joins APC, PDP loses out in South-South, South-East. For more details on this news, we can pick up the Nigerian Tribune.
And from the leadership newspaper here says, Senate okays troop deployment to Benin as ECOWAS says community in state of emergency. The Senate on Tuesday approved a request from President Bola Tinubu to deploy Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin as part of a regional peace and stabilization mission aimed at safeguarding democratic governance in West Africa. The approval followed the reading of a formal presidential correspondence in which the president sought the Senate's consent to authorize military deployment to the neighboring country to forestall an unconstitutional seizure of power and prevent the destabilization of democratic institutions. Following the presentation of the latter, the Senate resolved into a committee of the whole to deliberate on the president's request. Senate okays troops deployment to Benin as ECOWAS says community in state of emergency. You can pick up the leadership newspaper for more of these details.
This is coming from the Daily Trust and see on the troop deployment. Benin presses flex over troop deployment. The Senate Tuesday approved President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's request for the deployment of Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin, endorsing an action the president has taken days earlier to avert an attempted disruption of democratic governance in the neighboring country. However, diplomats, political analysts, and experts have expressed mixed feelings, calling on the Nigerian government to be strategic in its dealing with the neighbors. The president's request, contained in a letter, was read on the Senate floor by Senate President Godswill Akpabio during plenary. Tinubu had ordered the deployment last week to forestall an unconstitutional takeover of Benin Republic and instability in the West African sub-region, but did seek legislative approval in line with the constitutional requirements. Benin presses flake over troops deployment. For more details on this news, you can pick up the Daily Trust newspaper.
The fact that we have troops to send to Benin Republic to go and save them, meanwhile our troops have not been able to save Nigeria.
Don't even know what to say concerning that, because we have a lot of issues we are facing here,
Yes.
and our troops, they haven't overcome the issues or
Yes.
challenges we are facing here, and they are still sending them from here to save another country.
If they were so much, then I think last 2 weeks they were pushing that 100,000 more Nigerians should be admitted to the military. And so if we are so plenty like that, why would they need 100,000 more to be admitted? Then now the few that they have, they are now sending them to Benin Republic to go and fight for them.
So when you now send them to there, who will now save our people
I wonder, because how many will remain to fight for the people here? We are still undergoing insecurity. We are still in a phase of crisis. But what they care about is sending people so that they can look good outside.
Whereby we are still facing some
issues here. Are we not in a state of emergency than Benin?
I think this troop deployment should be reviewed because I don't see any reason why Benin Republic cannot save their people. Why we are still having issue. If also they want to call on any troop, I think they should call on the USA.
Yes, the US hence to come and save them. Okay, when have you ever had a time that we have been under any issue and then you have heard that troops from Benin Republic are here? Have you ever heard so? How come only Nigerians have the capability to send our army and military people to Benin to go and fight?
Whereby we don't have the power to save our people. And
know.
every day we are reporting, we are getting reports on insecurity, banditry, and the likes.
It's well with us. And so from the Punch newspaper, it says probe EFCC detains ex-AGF Malami. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has detained a former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami San, after he failed to meet the bail conditions earlier granted to him. A senior EFCC official who confirmed the development on Tuesday said the former minister would remain in custody until he fulfills the requirements. We arrested him for not meeting his bail conditions, and he'll remain in our custody until he meets those conditions, the official said. Another EFCC source also confirms Malami's detention, noting that he's being investigated for multiple offenses. Probe EFCC detains ex-AGF Malami. We can pick up the Punch newspaper for more details. One thing I like about this is that no one is above the law. You can see he was a former attorney general, so them ensuring that he's been in jail until he's being investigated is something that I can applaud them for.
Yes, worth applauding. From the Vanguard newspaper, airspace violations. Nigerian Sahel states differs over detained aircraft soldier. Bobo Diosalo conflicting accounts yesterday trade the detention of a Nigerian Air Force NAF C-130 plane and 11 soldiers on board to Bobo Diosalo, Burkina Faso. The aircraft and its occupants were detained by the Burkina government on Monday, with the crew having been accused of entering the country's airspace without clearance. While NFA claimed its crew landed the aircraft in Burkina Faso due to technical concerns, Burkina Faso, one of the three Sahelian states that pulled out of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, recently disagreed. Airspace violation. Nigerian Sahel states differs over detained aircraft soldiers. For more details on this news, you can pick up the Vanguard newspaper.
I agree that they should detain them because this airplane was actually from Benin Republic, was actually in Benin, and you are to come back to Nigeria. How come you moved all the way to Burkina Faso?
They said they had technical concerns.
But technical concerns should bring you way back. If you check the map, you will see that Benin is so close to Nigeria that you wonder why they were going forward to Burkina Faso to go and land. Something fishy is going on, and I think that's why the Burkina Faso government had to intercept and then arrest. They will deal with their issues. We'll be going on a quick short break. This is 24 News Radio and Television.
Welcome to 24 News Radio and Television, your trusted companion for real-time updates, expert analysis, and compelling conversations. We bring the world closer to you with clear, credible, and concise information at every moment. With our seasoned reporters and sharp broadcasters, we dig deep to uncover the facts behind the headlines from your neighborhood to the global stage. Stay connected with 24 News Radio and Television for breaking news and current happenings across the globe. 24 News Radio and Television. The world is closer than you think.
Welcome back. From Punch newspaper, here says Rep summons minister over budget underperformance. The House of Representatives has summoned the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, and the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Mr. Atiku Bagudu, over poor budget implementation. The House on Tuesday held a closed-door session with Edu Bagudu and the Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsildeen Ogunjimi, and the Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji. A lawmaker who attended the session told The Punch in confidence that the meeting focused on the poor implementation of the capital components of the 2024 and 2025 budgets. He said lawmakers expressed deep frustration over the government's failure to release funds for projects already executed. As a result, the House resolved not to consider the 2026 appropriation bill until the federal government clears outstanding payments owed to contractors under the 2024 and 2025 budget cycles. Rep summons minister over budget underperformance. You can pick up the Punch for more details.
From the Nigerian Tribune, Adeleke joins Accord Party. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has unveiled the Accord Party as his new political platform, announcing his intention to seek re-election for a second term on the platform of the party. The governor made the announcement Tuesday evening at the banquet hall of the government house in the presence of national and state leaders of the Accord Party. The governor said, I joined the Accord Party more than a month ago, precisely November 6th, as a platform to seek re-election in 2026. This was after weeks of consultation and deliberation with stakeholder and opinion leaders. Adeleke joins Accord Party. For more details on this news, you can pick the Nigerian Tribune.
What is now going to be left of PDP? This morning we've heard that Fubara has joined
APC.
Yes, and now
Adeleke
is joining Accord. So who is now remaining in PDP? Tinubu is winning, no? Yeah, he's the head of APC, and then you see all the state governors.
And it's just like this words that people are always going to the winning side. That's just what's happening.
And I think PDP, they brought the downfall to themselves, seeing the crisis, the quarrels that have been happening in that party. Anybody sensible will want to switch to another party.
Yeah, because it's not healthy for their political
career, saying that the elections are almost here. It's well with them. And so for the last news I have here today is for the sports lovers. It says AFCON 2025, Shelley battle squad deadline on paid salaries. 11 days to the start of 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. Super Eagles coach Enrique Chelle is at the center of an intense situation with the Nigerian Football Federation over unpaid salaries, just as he is yet to unveil his final squad for the tournament. Punch Sports Extra reports. The 2025 AFCON will be played from December 21st to January 18, 2026 in Morocco and Nigeria, and the 23 other sides are allowed to select up to 28 players for the 2025 finals. The deadline for naming squad is Thursday, December 11th, and the mandatory release date for clubs to make players available is Monday, December 15th. The Nigerian Football Federation published Shelle's 54-man provisional list last Tuesday, and ahead of the Thursday's deadline by the Confederation of African Football. AFCON 2025, Shelle battles squad deadline and unpaid salaries. The government should do better and pay up the salaries, because this is one thing that brings joy to the face of Nigerians, seeing our footballers go for matches and come back with trophies. So they should encourage them to do better. Yeah.
From the Daily Trust, court sentences police officer to death by hanging for killing students. The Chief Justice of Plateau State, Justice David Mann, has sentenced a police officer, Sergeant Ruyan Hauta, for the shooting death of a 300-level University of Jos student, Rinji Bala. Mann, in a ruling delivered at the Plateau State High Court, sworn on Tuesday in Jos, pronounced a death sentence by hanging or lethal injection on the convicted officer after finding him guilty of culpable homicides. The court said that the decision followed a detailed review of the evidence presented by the prosecution, witnesses' testimonies, and his own evaluation of the circumstances surrounding the case. It emphasized that the sentences aim to uphold the rule of law and ensure accountability, particularly in cases involving unlawful use of force and firearms. Court sentences police officer to death by hanging for killing students. For more details on this news, you can pick up the Daily Trust newspaper. I think what the court actually did is actually okay. Because why will he just pull the trigger for no cause?
Most times these military personnel, because they are in the place of power and they have these guns, so they let this power get into their head, so they can do anything and then get away with it. But I like now, and they are always being brought to books. I like that they are being arrested and charged based on the offense that they commit, and not just excused because they are part of the armed forces.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. All right, that's all we have for you today on Today in the Dailies. Thank you for joining us today. Let's do this again tomorrow. We hope that you have a great day. Thank you. My name is Bukola Comfort Dada, and with me is
Arima Karina Wari.
Bye.
Bye.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and information.